Zaru al Tzadik u'liyishrei lev simcha. Zaru al Tzadik u'liyishrei lev simcha. Zaru al Tzadik u'liyishrei lev simcha.
Welcome to Pinner Shul. It is our privilege to share this Col Nidre video with you on what may be your first Yom Kippur at home. I am Rabbi Kurza, and our Baal Tefillah is Chazan Sam Freeman, together with his choir. Please feel free to join in with them. The powerful melody of Col Nidre stirs great emotion in me and really prepares me for the day of Yom Kippur ahead. But the problem is that when we look at the words, they just don't seem to match this unbelievable music that is so haunting to our soul. If we look through the prayer of Col Nidre, the first thing that we realize is that it's not a prayer at all. It's a very legal, technical list of various promises and vows that we may have made, a prosaic walk through the various types of oaths that we may have done intentionally or inadvertently. On Yom Kippur, we're sitting down for an honest, open chat with the Almighty, a genuine conversation with God, where He asks us, how was your year? How did things go? What were some of the positives? What were some of the challenges? How do you think you can do better? How can I support you in doing better? And we introduce that day with Col Nidre, with this technical, legal walk through all the different types of vows. Why is Col Nidre the backdrop to such a powerful and awesome conversation? Let's imagine that we were preparing ourselves for a job interview, or a progress report, a progress discussion with our boss at work. How would we prepare for that conversation? We'd think about our successes, all the things that we'd done right over the past year. We were resourceful, we were productive, I was a team player, but I also showed a bit of initiative as well, perhaps throw in a weakness or two, as long as we could show how we overcame those weaknesses. Plenty of self-promotion, and of course make sure to prepare the phrases that will steer the conversation away from the uncomfortable things that we don't want to talk about. Col Nidre reminds us and tells us that as we enter Yom Kippur, none of that is possible in our conversation with God. When we talk to the Almighty, our vows and our promises are essential. Our words make a tremendous amount of difference. There is nowhere to hide. He knows everything about us. And rather than filling us with fear, that can inspire us to be open and honest. The things that we say about ourselves over Yom Kippur remain solely between us and God. We can be totally honest and open. There's no image to present. There's no promotion to be done. All we have to do is be honest, not just with God, but more importantly, with ourselves. The greatest barriers to our success are the falsehoods that we have convinced ourselves of over the years. I'm not clever enough, or young enough, or good enough to do this. I don't have enough time, or enough money, or the skill set to do that. One day in the future, I plan to do X, Y, or Z. Today, we can just be honest. Would we swear to those things in a court of law? Would we say those things under the threat of perjury? That's why Yom Kippur centers around confession. Not to the rabbi or to anyone else, but to ourselves in front of God. As we approach this day, as we follow on from the deep, moving tune and words of Col Nidre, we can be truly honest with ourselves. Think about who we are and what we really can achieve. May Yom Kippur set us up to have a wonderful year, a year of meaning, a year of growth, a year of peace, and a year of health. I wish everyone well over the fast and a good Yom Tov.
בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתירים להתפלל עם עבריינים בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתירים להתפלל עם עבריינים בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתירים להתפלל עם עבריינים Col Nidre Vesare V'charame V'koname V'chinuye V'chirusei Yom Kippurim ad Yom Kippurim haba aleinu Sharan Shvikin Shavitin Beteilin Umvotalin Lasheririn Vlakayamin Nidrana La Nidre Vesarana La Esahare Ushvata La Shavuot Col Nidre Vesare Vecharame Vekoname Vechinoye Vekinosei Shavuot Dindana Oda Ishtabana Udiacharimna V'tiyasarna al nafshata Dindana Oda Ishtabana Udeacharimna Udeacharim Vedyasarna Anavshata Mi Yom Kippurim Zeh Ad Yom Kippurim בטלין ומבוטלין, לשרירים ולקיימים. נדרה Col Nidre v'charame v'koname v'chinoye v'kinusay Yom Kippurim ad Yom Kippurim בטלין ומבוטלין לשרירים ולקיימים נדרה לשבועות. כי יעלה תחנוננו מערב, ויבוא שבתנו מבוקר, וירא רנוננו עד ערב. יעלה קולנו מערב, ויבוא צדקתנו מבוקר, וירא פדיוננו עד ערב. יעלה עינוינו מערב, ויבוא סליחתנו מבוקר, וירא נקתנו עד ערב. יעלה מנוסינו מערב, ויבוא למענו מבוקר, וירא כיפורנו עד ערב. רחמנא דענלניה, דענלניה, עננה. Deane litvire liba, Deane litvire liba, Anena, Rachamana, Deane lemakicherucha, Rachamana, Neina, Rachamana, Chus, Rachamana, Baruch, Rachamana, Sheziv, Rachamana, Rachem, Yigdal Elohim chai v'yishtabach Nimtza v'einet el metziuto Echad v'yachid k'yicholam Le'lam v'ga'en sof Ein lo demot haguf ve'ein oguf lo na'aroch elav kadushato kadmon lechalavar Hashem yivra rishon le'en reshit L'chol notzar yoreh gadol lato u'malchuto Shezad evocato nezalor Anshe segulato v'tifarto Lo kam be'Yisrael Moshe od Navi umabit et temunato Torah temetata le'amoel al yam aliyah le'man beito Lo yachalif ha'el ve'lo yamidato le'olamim lezulato Sofek yoradea setareinu mabit lesof davar Komel leish chesed kamifalo Noten lerashara karishato Yishrach leketz yamim meshichenu Liftot mechakeketz Yeshuato Meitim yechayel Barov chasto Baruch Adeat Shem Tehilat ביום אקרא, בידו הפקידותי, בעת ישן בעירה, ואמרוכי גביעתי, השם לי ולא אירא.
Tzedakah is a key feature of our activity over the High Holy Day period. This is because selfless giving is an integral part of our Jewish tradition and a core component of our Jewish faith. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." Jewish tradition states, "I give, therefore I am." It is in this context that I am exceptionally proud of the truly extraordinary achievements of the United Synagogue and all of our congregations ever since the pandemic began. I know that I can look to each and every one of you for your kindness and generosity in the future. In the year during which we should have been celebrating 150 years of the remarkable history of the United Synagogue, it was with great pain and sadness that we were forced to close the doors of our shuls in March. We may not have been able to gather together in person, but we were there for each other in every other possible way. Over 1,000 volunteers from some 60 United Synagogue communities made sure that the most vulnerable members of our community had food delivered to their door, including ready-made Shabbat meals, to ensure that even in those darkest of days, a glimmer of light endured. It broke our hearts to face the prospect of Seder nights without our families, but the United Synagogue made sure that those who were most isolated and vulnerable had the essentials they needed to make a Seder. An emergency helpline was speedily set up for members who were alone and anxious. I'm so inspired by the selflessness of every volunteer and of every community, by your care for each other and by your generosity with your time. Together, you have made a real and lasting difference to those who needed it most. And now we can begin to look forward to the future in which young people can come together for tribe activities, and when we can all pray together, learn together, and socialize together. The United Synagogue can look forward to its next 150 years and its place right at the center of UK Jewry. And each of its wonderful communities can look forward to the day on which our shuls will once again be full.
Baruch Hu et Hashem HaMavorach